All right. See how
Only
this
3 minutes late. We're fine.
I know, but
We
it
were
just builds the
chatting.
hype. It builds the hype.
It does build the hype.
We're All not right. doing, we're not doing anything fancy today anyway. There we go. I'm getting an ad for my own video. That's always great. That is something that I wish YouTube knew, that you were yourself.
I know.
When you like I'll try to, sometimes I've had like voice skipping stuff, so I'll try to watch my own video on YouTube. And I'm like, why do I have to watch my own ads? Like, come on. Anyway.
That's why I have YouTube Red, because I can't handle ads.
Sure. I should just do it eventually, but anyway.
It's worth it to me because I hate sitting through ads.
Well, hello everyone. Thank you for being spontaneous with me and showing up to this. I was telling Bree before we started, I just wanted to do something happy today. And when you're a single woman who lives alone during a pandemic, you have to have online friends if you don't want to be alone. So,
and when you're extroverted like this one.
This is true. This is true. My friends are starting to do stuff finally, but also our lives have changed that you just don't have the time built in to see people anymore. I don't know. That's a weird reasoning, but I feel like that's how it is we've just gotten used to how we do it. So when someone asks me to do something, I'm like, even though I'm like, I love people, why don't I want to do this with you? Like, I love you.
Yeah, you get so used to not. But I feel like online friends are great because you could just do something like this and you're just chill and you can still interact. But
right. See, Melissa knows what it's about. Melissa does. So people are excited. Yes, get some reading done. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's what I was like, I haven't done reading sprints just on mine. I mean, I'm actually hosting the one on Tuesday too, so you'll get two of these this week. Yes, but I was like, oh, I just want to see on a Sunday afternoon is different too. You get different people who can show up than when you do it during the week.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's fun to do it at different times all the time, because different people will show up.
Right. So yeah, I'm also in the middle of so many things. So I was like, this will be good because it's like people in front of me holding me down, kind of. Do it.
So are you reading or are you doing
Well, the first sprint, because I thought we'd do either 2 or 3 20-minute ones, and we'll stop in the middle. I'm almost done with an arc, which I finally put my stickers on, my new one.
Oh, I love it.
I had to get a black one because it's all that they had, which is fine. But then I got a really pretty pop socket.
I know. I was going to say your pop socket's pretty.
Yeah. I love it. It was just so weird. My Kindle just would not turn on, and I did all the tricks. There's do this, jiggle it around and plug it in, and I was like, whatever. I think I've had it 2.5 years, so it did pretty good. It was starting to die faster too, which I mean, Kindles already last a pretty long time. But
I know. I was gonna say I've had mine for a really long time, but I think you use yours more than I do because I listen to audiobooks more than I read on it. So
right. I don't know. That's actually a good question because I caved when Crystal got one of the tablets because I loved being able to show to show a colored picture.
Oh, right.
Photos, because I only had, when you show the book cover, it's not as pretty as that. So literally for an aesthetic reason, I bought one. And these are way cheaper than a Kindle.
They are.
A tablet where you can also watch videos on was only $80.
Mm-hmm.
This was with tax, this was $150, but whatever.
Yeah, I can't read on an iPad or a Kindle like that. I have to have it on my paperweight because otherwise it hurts my eyes. But yeah, so one for pictures and then one for reading.
What is this? Do Kindles remember what you have when you buy a new one? I mean,
it links to your Amazon account.
Yeah. When you log into it, it asks for all that stuff. So it's pretty easy to fix it. You still have a first gen Kindle. Wow.
I think my niece still has. My dad has a first gen paperweight because I gave him my old one.
Yeah.
And it's still going strong. So
I think my aunt had one of the Nooks because she had the keyboard on it. It was one of the versions of the Nook that had a full keyboard instead of touch screen, I guess. Yeah, It didn't have a touch screen.
Right. And that had the buttons to turn the page and stuff.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that one was pretty interesting. But yeah. I don't know. I had been because I was gonna hold out until there was like a new version, but I mean, it's only really the Oasis and the Paperwhite. Like they haven't done anything fancy, so I was like, wow.
And I think like the only upgrade, like there hasn't really been big upgrades. Like I got a new one when they became waterproof or water resistant.
Right. Yep.
I got it.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, there hasn't been much that has changed.
Right. Yeah, and so I was just like, well, and because I was waiting to get a new one, I was going to upgrade and give mine to my sister because she didn't have one. And then when it died, I was just like, well, whatever. We'll just, it's not happening now, so I'll just buy one. Like, but anyway, but yeah, so, okay. So yeah, I want to finish that arc. I am so easily distracted, but I'm going to finish. It's Tears of Salvation by, I don't know who the author is because it's part of the Underworld Kings. So I literally have 4 arcs for that because they had come out like one after the other. But so far, they're all different.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's 17 books that will come out over the next 2 months. Mm-hmm. And like Sophie Larkin has one that's going to be in it, and like Althea Romick has one. So like they will all have one in it. So far, I haven't had super great luck, but it's all been authors I haven't read before.
Uh-huh.
And then even this one was so unique, and I was really liking it, and then it took a turn, and oh no, why are you doing this to me? So this is what I'll probably try to finish in the first sprint, and then I'm listening to the audiobook for this because I hadn't listened to this audiobook yet, and I
haven't read Sophie Lark yet. I still haven't read anything.
I thought you did. Oh, you did Maggie Cole and Said first, right? You read one of her. You read Ruthless Stranger.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I loved that. Oh, it was so good.
I mean, I think you'll like books because you just read really fast. They're full of action, but she does like her romance just gets better with each one. Like she's really good at writing. The story is always really great, but she just improves on like her couples are so good. That's I just love her so much. I'm so excited for her serial killer books. I'm just
maybe I'll start with those. When are those coming out?
The first one comes out October 30th. Yeah, it comes out for like Halloween. And then I think it's a month later. So I think they come out because it's a duet. So I know
I might have to start there. You know how I am with the psychopaths and serial
killers. Right. I mean, I'm excited what she's gonna do because she just has been growing so much. But okay, we all know I'm a Sophie Larkson. So then I'll try to listen to that, and I have I'm gonna try to fill out my reviews because I used somebody's pretty stickers to fill out my book, but now I have to write my review for each one because I didn't take the time to do that while I was doing it. And I hate writing. That's literally why I thought I wouldn't want to journal because I don't like writing long things. But all of these ones I have reviews for on my Goodreads already done. So
do you rewrite your reviews or you just kind of do bullet?
I'm kind of doing a mixture. I've only done a couple of them so far, so I don't really know. But the most important stuff is that I want character names in here because I always forget character names.
Oh my God, same.
Favorite. So yeah, it's just when I read it, what number it is in a series, who the characters are, and then what the tropes are. And then I'll maybe write why it was a 6-star read is what I'm thinking because I have kind of I have different reasons why a book is 6 stars, so I'll probably.
So you only do your 6 stars in there. That's the only thing that you do that.
Okay,
I was gonna say, do you read so many books it would take you?
I know. I just I'm at 540 for this year. So no, this is just gonna be the 6-star books. And I have I'm only at I've had 25 6-star books this year. So
okay.
I mean it's a good amount, but I probably have 200 5-star books. So
yeah, I know. I was gonna say out of all that you've read, that's actually not a lot.
Yeah, I'm very happy to give a 5-star, which is why I had to be I need a 6-star because most of it is 5 stars, which Sorry, I keep making us talk, but I wanted you to talk about Run Posey Run before we like are quiet, because I love that you read it and I just kind of want to talk about it for a couple minutes.
I'm deeply obsessed with it. And like I feel like, because I purposely, here's the thing, is I don't really know what other people were saying about it. You might have to fill me in on what other people are saying about it, because people would talk about it and I'd skip over it because I didn't want to know anything about it. I wanted to go in blind. You know, I like going in blind. So I don't know what like the consensus is. I just know, like, I know that Tori maybe didn't love it. I feel like it was pretty mixed. I knew that you liked it, but I purposely didn't listen to what everyone said about it. So tell me what other people said and I will tell you whether I agree.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people that I expected to like it liked it, if that makes sense. Like Heather liked that one a lot. Okay. And I mean, Jessen loved that one, and Tiffany, but those are the people that I talked to about it. The reason I read it is because Katie Robert loved it, right? That's the reason I read it. She was like, oh my gosh, this is kidnapping as a love language, and I love that so much. And it basically kind of inspired her, a part of her plot for The Bastard's Betrayal, because she was like, I want my next book to have A, B, and C like in it. But I think the thing is, if people don't get a psychopath, like if they don't get why you are appealed to them, then they don't like it.
Right.
Like I had one of my followers, I don't know if she's watching right now, but she messaged me and she was like, I just don't like him. He's so mean. And I'm like, okay, but you understand that he's like a little bit neurodivergent, right? And that he doesn't understand what love is or what feelings are. And she's letting him do these things to her. So why would he think anything's wrong? Because he doesn't pick up on her cues. And then when she gets, you know, when she is like, fine, fuck off, I'm not coming back. He's like, but what did I do wrong?
Right.
Like, well, what do you think you did wrong? You know, for me, I love that stuff because I love that he pushes her on it. And he's like, you're telling me that I did something wrong, but it was okay before. So why isn't the same way I treated you okay now?
Right.
Like, well, I feel different now.
Very literally. And he doesn't fully understand what he's feeling. That's the thing that I love the most, is him not understanding what he was feeling, that it was love. Like, what is this feeling in my chest? Like, it was just so sweet. Like, that's not a book that you would normally say was sweet. But for me, there was so many sweet moments in it because of how he is. And it meant so much more. I love heroes like that. That story was so good. Because I'm not like kidnapping romances, I feel like could go very, very wrong, because I also like, I don't like bully romances for the same reason. So I don't typically like when heroes are mean to the heroine, but when it's something like that he's not like knowingly being mean, like he doesn't realize, like I don't know.
And she's always been with mafia men too. It's not like he's her like first step into this world. Like, she's a child of this world. And so what I loved is him kind of like questioning her like feminism when she's acting all this. And he's like, you said this is okay. You never said anything was wrong. So I just assumed it was okay if I just fucked you when I wanted to and played board games with you and then didn't talk to you at all. Like, you didn't say anything was wrong.
Right.
So I'm just like, I love that, where he's like, tell me because I don't understand. And she's just like, you should just understand.
Right.
I just
it's both of them just having to like come to terms with that too. And you normally also, I wouldn't like a heroine who is like a doormat, but I don't know, that she had that. I think I told you, she had that other part of her that was really good at like chess and was good at like strategy and stuff. So that kind of made up for the other doormat part of her that there was. But also you understood why she was the way she was, because she was always around those type of people.
Well, and I think what makes her different is she has a wake up moment.
Right.
Like, she has the wake up moment where she's like, do I want to keep living my life where I just let men decide? And so we see her like mid moment where she's like, no. But then that's the thing that she has to explain to him, because he's like, I don't understand you. Like, I did this before. I thought the only thing I did wrong was like break up with you. And she's like, no, it was actually, I kind of didn't like it the whole time.
Right.
It wasn't great for me. And I don't know. I also really love.
She fully realized how much it wasn't working for her. She was kind of just content, you know, like, and sometimes
until it all goes horribly wrong. Yeah. It's so unique. It's so unique. But I didn't know which way you would feel. I thought you would like it because of his. I just thought you would like that. But also, again, they can go really wrong.
Never know.
Some people are just like, he's too mean, and I'm like, yes, but that's the point. Like, you're
Mhm.
reading a mafia book. I hope you didn't expect him to be nice. Like, I don't know what to tell you about it. But
Yeah.
okay, well, I wanted to gush about that. Okay, but now I have my timer because I'm cool. Okay. Wait, how do I share one? I'm always a little share a screen. No, where is it? Okay, there we go. Okay, so we'll do a 20-minute one, and then we will chat for a little bit.
All right, sounds good.
Oh wait, I didn't ask you what you were doing.
Oh, I don't fully know. Okay. Actually, I got this. I finally went to my PO box, so this came in, the Protege.
Oh yeah,
Our annotation book. So I'm thinking I might start this, or I might start a novella. It's No Getting Ogre You, and it's an ogre novella.
Okay.
Yeah. Or I might like update my reading journal, or I might start orders that I have to send out tomorrow. I'm not really sure. I'm very finicky.
Okay.
I might read for a little bit and then switch to do like listening to an audiobook. And
me too. I'm like, that's why I was like, if we do 2 or 3, I'll break it up into blocks. So
yeah.
But okay, now we can do it.
Let's do this.
That always gets me.
Yeah.
I'm always like, I'm gonna catch it, and then I don't. Then I'm like, wow.
How's your book?
It's good. It actually is turning. He groveled pretty good for what he did.
Okay.
I was nervous because I'm actually not someone who has to have a huge grovel if there's a reason. Like, I like grovels, but like for the right thing. And for this one, as soon as he did the thing, I was like, oh shit, there has to be a good grovel in this one. So it's like you're kind of just waiting for it. But I think she was appropriately angry, and I think he was appropriately like his reasoning for it. So we'll see. It'll be between a 4 and a 5, maybe. I really want to give one of these a 5 because I've been reviewing all the arcs and I've had like 3s for them, and I feel bad.
Oh, no.
Right? I feel bad to be reading the arcs for these and then having to be like, oh, I didn't like it.
Right.
I don't want to do that. And then I don't want to get to like Sophie's book and be like, this is the best one. And then it's like, well, of course you think that. I'm like, well, if the writing is.
I know. If it's better, it's better.
I know. I mean, I'm honest about stuff, so people will believe me. They won't. I don't care. Like,
yeah, exactly. But I don't know what you thought of this book, but like, don't tell me because I'm going to read your.
Yeah.
But I've been liking reading everyone. Yeah. I like being like one of the last people because I like to see what everyone else is writing.
Right.
And the annotate. So for those who don't know, this is a book that we've been passing around and annotating. We've been mailing it to each other, and I am I'm the 4th one. Yeah. So am I the last one? I have to check the list.
I think there's one more.
Okay.
I think there's one more piece of that.
Yeah, I like having people's ahead of me so I can see what they're writing. But I've written so much already.
Right.
On this. This is a great, like, the very beginning establishes it very quickly, and you're immediately invested. And I knew nothing about this book going into it. So it's a cellist and a conductor, it sounds like. Sounds like it's an age gap. She maybe grew up with him or something. I don't know. But I'm invested.
Yeah, you'll see. I haven't read all of Brianna Hale's like Tamika has, but I've read like 5 or 6, and I mean, I think that one's either my favorite or tied for my favorite. Oh no!
Ringmaster.
Ringmaster is my favorite. Like I said, I was like, I've read most of it. I've only read like 5 or 6. Ringmaster is like, I feel like it's close to that.
Okay.
In how I felt about it. Ringmaster's still better.
Yeah.
Mostly because like I like that plot better.
Okay.
For me, like this was still really great. The relationship's really good.
Okay.
It's appropriately spaced.
The writing's really good so far. Like
really
good.
That's the thing. Is like, I don't know. So for her like there was actually a series she was writing that she had to like bail on because nobody was liking it.
Oh no.
And I read the arcs for that as they were coming out, and like I like didn't like them. And so I was like, yeah, I can see why people are bailing on the series because I've read your other stuff. Like that's how I feel. Is it's like I've read your other stuff and I liked it better. And yeah, Carrie said this. I have that on my Kindle.
Oh, okay.
I keep putting it off. That one's a daddy kink where he's a racer. Is he a racer, Carrie? I think so. Or a rock star. He's maybe a rock star, I think. But I do want to read that one. That's the other one I really want. And then I think there's like Control Freak and like Gym Bunny or something. That is like their shorter stuff. But so she's one of those that when she does it really great, it's like my favorite. And when it's not, it's like,
yeah.
That other series has like really big age gaps. Like it was until recently, it was the biggest age gap that I'd read. It was like a 19-year-old and like a 50-year-old, and I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah. For me, like that doesn't. I think that wouldn't bother me quite as much as if she was younger, like way younger. Because that when it gets high school age, I'm like, that kind of weirds me out a little bit more.
I like my like rule of thumb in general, is I like the number to be in the teens of where they're separate. Like the oldest person in it, I like them to have been like a teenager when the person's born, where like they almost can't be their person, like can't be their parent. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's definitely forbidden still.
Right.
But it doesn't feel as icky because it's like, okay, you couldn't literally be the sorcerer. Not to say I haven't read bigger than that and
Right.
like them, but even like think like Birthday Girl, like he could barely be her dad, and only
Right.
because he was a teen dad. Like
Mhm.
that's the way that he can.
Right.
So it's just, and also I think because I'm super attracted to like there are some 40 and 50-year-olds
Yeah.
who's like I'm okay with it. I'm like I'm attracted to that.
Right. Same.
But I just tried to read. Well, I did technically finish it. Hypocritically Yours by Haley Feynman, and it's a 39-year age gap. Like he's literally, she's 23, completely, but he's 62.
Stop! No, I can't.
I know, and I'm like the person on the cover. I'm like, number one, that guy's not 62. Like my father's not even 62, and my dad looks like a grandpa. Okay, like dad. My dad is 58, and I'm just like, ooh.
No, 62 for
I know.
real.
And the thing is like he doesn't read like he's 62. You're like, who are you, like Tom Cruise or something for how to take care of your body, or Daniel Craig or something.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's okay. I mean, it's a taboo thing. She's a single mom who is, again, like she's 23. Like, there's nothing that's bad, but like his kids are older than her, and I'm always like, ugh.
Like it doesn't address like as like him aging and stuff.
Right. Like you've got 20, 30 years max with that. Like, I don't know. When I have to think about one of the characters' mortality too much.
Yeah.
That's the other reason why I like for me, my sweet spot is between like 10 and 20 years is like because it can still be where you're at different points in your life, and it can have that taboo nature because of like where that is, but it also, I feel like they're sexually compatible at the same time. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't want to be grossed out. It's the same reason I don't like some of the ickier ones. Like,
yeah,
I can really get on board with a lot of oh my gosh, Stacey.
I know, Grandpa Cake.
Oh God, yeah, yeah. No, girl, you're totally right. That's what it. Well, it reminds me too of like, was it called 56? Those 7 Rue book that was my last, like when before I even found out that she was crazy. She had one that was the one that had water sports in it, and I didn't know what water sports were.
Oh,
right.
Yeah,
and
there's a
one where he like pees on her quite a bit, and I was like, no.
Oh
no.
Hard pass.
I've said this before too.
Fluids, I'm not like
those
kind of bodily fluids anyway.
I've literally only read 1, maybe 2, maybe there's one I'm forgetting, but there's only one I've read where there was that included, and I was like in this, like I was like, wow, this is working with this thing, and it was Pam Godwin. So
okay,
when the God tier and also they were like in the shower, and it was this statement of like, there's nothing shameful between the two of us. It was that kind of a thing.
Okay.
Like it isn't while they're like having sex and then it's included. Which again, no judgment. This is a judgment for you. Judgment. Get my jollies off when there's pee coming out.
We're not yucking your yum, guys.
No, like I am definitely not. Definitely not. Yeah. So that was the one where he was like in her mouth, and I'm like,
no. Okay.
It was like a humiliation scene, and he was just like, kneel there and then open your mouth.
Yeah.
I know, babe. I know. That was the last straw of 7 Rue for me.
Like, did you finish the book?
No. I immediately stopped it. I was like 100%. No. That's a moment. That's a nope moment for me. Like done. It was like, oh God, no. I was already kind of like squeaking my way through that one because he's a 56 and she, I think, is like, that might have been the biggest age gap I read, because I think she was also 17.
Ew.
17 or 18, and she was she was a cam girl. That might be the biggest age gap I read then. Anyway, whatever. I forgot about that one. I know, everyone. I know. This is why, like, some people still recommend her books to me, because, I mean, it's been, like, 8 months now since I did my video. I was like, I'm done with her, and I found out stuff about her, and I'm like, I don't get on board with like canceling too many people, but she's someone that Plus, I don't like her books, and she's a shitty human, so that equals I'm not going to read your stuff
That's
anymore.
easy to.
And then, like, I saw someone on Twitter, not Twitter. I stay off of there mostly.
I was
on
gonna
TikTok. Yeah, I know. I literally deleted it from my phone now. I only have it on my computer to like promote my videos because I just too negative for me. It has I don't even know what Twitter's place is. I was like, Twitter has a place. I don't know what that place is. Except for people to be very angry. But on TikTok where someone said, it was the one where they're like, you think you're ready for anything. And then this. And it like showed a picture of her book. And it was one where it was a reverse harem with this girl and all of her men in her family.
Ew, come on.
I know. Uncle, dad, cousin, and brother.
What is this world? No.
I know. I'm not even going to say the name of it. You guys can try to find it if you want. But someone had posted, I was like, what is this about? So I like look up the book and I was like, why? Like, why?
The only time I was okay with that was in Credence, and it wasn't even like, it's not blood related. Like it was, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and here's the, like, it's not so funny, but like the funny thing is that even when I did like my like incest video, they all end up not being it.
Right.
Like, that'll be the twist is like, of all the ones I read, only I think 3 were legitimately related to people, which is fine. Like there doesn't need to be that many of them, but they all ended up being like, not actually blood related to the person or that type of stuff, which is fine. I feel like that does like it gives you the bit of the taboo of that without the implications to a new generation because I just personally believe that the reason why that's gross is you're forcing that onto a child to be an inbred human. That's more of my problem if it is. I do believe you should love who you want to love, but don't force it on a new human that has happened to them. Because I think of like, did you read The Wild?
Okay. I can't. I don't. That's a line.
That's okay. I was going to say there's The Free, which is the next one after that. Which the heroine of that one, she is the product of incest, and she was also being like assaulted by her father and her brothers. And she had 3 different stillbirths that were like half babies because they were double. Right. Sorry that I'm spoiling this for some people, but I'm just saying like, and so that was one where it was looking at of like what that actually can mean and the implications of because it was like horror, like it's the horror side of that. Right. But I actually like The Free more than The Wild, though, after I just said that, I know. Because we don't have to see her living through that. We don't have to see her living through that. In The Wild, this is a person that they actually, like, rescue her. And then, like, she's the heroine in the next one. But anyway, I think The Wild is fascinating. I have reread it multiple times because it's so fascinating to me.
Like, I'm intrigued by it because of that part of it. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I could do it. Like, I don't.
Yeah. Well, and like, I don't know if because you're someone who doesn't like, you try to stay away from spoilers of stuff. So like, do you know the thing about that one?
I think so because I wasn't planning on reading it. So I think because I watched your wrap up video and I think didn't Jessica from Peace Love Books, didn't she read it?
She did. Well, and we also did the Taboo Book Club about it where we like spoiled it. Like we talked about. That might have been where.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just fascinating. That was the darkest thing I'd read until I read more Pam Godwin. And she really is the darkest thing. And Enjoy is the
right.
Thing.
Yeah, there's like reading a dark thing and then there's reading a dark thing and enjoying it.
Right. Which is where like why I really love these kind of books coming out right now, like Her Soul to Take. Did you read that yet?
No, but it's on my TBR for this month.
Because that's the one where like I was scared to read that because it looked so dark to me. But there's actually a lot of humor in that book, and I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. I loved it.
I have it's like a 5-star prediction for me. Like
I think it will be. Did you watch Buffy as a kid?
Yes, I'm obsessed
Okay.
with Buffy. Like obsessed.
So many
with
people haven't. Oh my gosh. Tori, Jess, and Sam hadn't seen Buffy because that's who I buddy read it with.
Did
And I was like,
you? Did
oh,
you?
getting Buffy. Oh, yes. Yeah.
Oh, you did. Okay. I was gonna say you guys are all very young though, so I could see why.
I mean, it was like Angel ended in like 2005, so I was only young.
Okay.
When I was in older high school, it's when like DVDs of old TV shows were coming out. So
Yeah.
I bought all of them and I watched all of them. So
See, my memories of Buffy were I had a guy friend of mine. I would make him record it because I wasn't home by the time it was on. So he would record it for me and then he'd bring it over and we'd watch it together. And then I also read like, because there was a Buffy series, like book series. I read every single book in that series as I was watching the show too. I was so deeply obsessed with it.
Yeah. No, I loved it so much. And
I can't wait.
That book, it just has that like the feel of it. You know, it's not there aren't things that directly reminded me of it, but that kind of like vibe of there are very serious things happening, but we're very sarcastic. Like it has a very the hero is so sarcastic. This demon is so just like, what is my life?
Right.
He's just very like all this fucking shit I gotta deal with, and this girl, just what is she doing? But I think she's pretty hot, so whatever. Like I think that's what you're gonna like, yeah. Whereas like Gothicana, that's more serious.
That's on my TBR too.
That's a spooky vibe. Yeah, that one was definitely more serious. But the next one in the Soul to Take, did you see the cover? That one has tentacles.
Does it?
Yeah, I think his demon form must have tentacles. Because I think I know who it's about, but the cover has like tentacles wrapped around her, and I was like, oh my god.
Oh, that's cool.
Like
I like the cover of Her Soul to Take anyway. So that one I might have to get it physically. That there's no audiobook for that, right?
No.
Yeah, I think that's why I've been putting it off because it's kind of long, if I remember correctly. And
it reads really quick though, because it starts in the middle of like a demon summoning. Like you're right.
Cool. Okay.
So you're like, oh wow, and like she's a YouTuber, but it's not in like a cheesy way.
Okay, because
so
that can be cheesy. So.
Right. Because it's not brought up that much. It's just enough to like put her in the scenario that she's in. So yeah. But anyway, now I'm excited for you to read those. But yeah. Okay. Well, should we do another one of these?
Yeah, we'll have to do a short one because I think my dinner is almost ready. I made my husband eat dinner today.
I made it stop the whole time. Should we do like 15 or 10 or what?
Yeah, let's do 15.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep reading this because
nice. Yeah, I didn't quite finish mine because when I do reading sprints, I end up getting distracted more.
I know, me too.
Oops. You still want your face? There we go. Okay, here we go.
All right, let's do this. That went by so fast.
I'm muted as I'm
It's like,
yeah, just in time. I finished it. Woohoo.
oh, good.
I think it was good. I have to think about it. That's the thing too, is like I've been reading those so fast that I need to write like 4 reviews today for the publisher or for the PR stuff, which
That's hard.
I always think I'll like get better at written reviews, and I always dread doing them because I just can't make the words here like down there.
Yeah. I think I focus so much on talking about it, and then once I do, like, it kind of just leaves my brain, and I'm not good at like writing a review right away after I read the book. Like, I'm so backlogged with reviews. So I try, what I've been doing is just doing super short reviews and just like, so at least there's something there, but fully fleshed out.
That's what I want to do. I think if not sometime this, like, have that be my goal for next year. There's a couple things I want to do for next. I want to also have a spice scale starting next year.
Ooh, see, I've been wanting to, but I don't even know how I would rate. Like, I don't know how I would do it.
A lot of the TikTokers have spice scales. So I've watched a few of their videos about how they decide. Because there'd be a book that I just really think it's really sexy, and they'll be like 3 spice. And I'm like,
right.
But when I hear their like reasoning for stuff, I really like it. Like, it depends for their specific ones. They're like, the kink has a aspect in it, if there's kinkiness in it, if there's like lots of like spicy triggers and stuff, if they're like, I don't know, call it spicy.
And then there's like, I'm of the camp of people that think you can have something steamy but not have a lot of on-page sex. So it's like, I don't know how I would rate that. Like, a Mariana Zapata book, there's so much tension, but there's nothing until like the very end. So yeah, I don't know.
That's a good point, because there was someone too, she's made a video about the difference between spice and steam, and I was like, yes, that's a thing. Because it's like, there can be lots of sexual tension,
right,
and it still be like a 1 on the spice, because there's only, so the one that I think I'm going to model mine after, there's literally like, there's from 0 to 5, and she's like, most of my books hit a 3. She's like 4 and 5, they're literally a signal that there's like, this is erotica.
Right, I was going to say, at that point, it's erotica.
It's erotica. Yeah, if it's a 5 spice, it's erotica. Whereas like a 4 would be, how did she like break down? I can't remember, but like a 3 was where like most would hit. Where like it's open door sex scene, there's like 4 or 5 or 6 maybe scenes in the whole book, but so it's still like the language is the same and the stuff, but it's like there's other plot still as important, right? So I don't know. It was a really interesting discussion, and that's why I haven't decided yet. Is because it's like, I don't know, and I didn't want to start it in the middle of a year where like I started my 6 stars in October last year is when I decided to do it. And that was kind of a pain, because when I was doing all of my end of the year stuff, I was like, I don't have 6-star factored in them or whatever. So it's okay. It's nice to have something to evolve to. So.
I think if you start incorporating it, I'll see how you do it, and then if I feel like I can do it and I can come up with my own, then I will too. Like, I've been wanting to, so that people know, because some people don't like super spicy things, and some people only want the super spicy things. So it'd be good for people to know. But well, I think star rating is objective too. I mean, in general.
That's what I was just gonna say. Is that's how I feel about other stuff too, which is why you make a video where you say what yours is, and then when people ask, you're like, I have a video that refers to it. Like my star ratings and what my 6 star is, like, I have a video about it. So if people don't know, you'll be like, you can watch this, and then you'll know what mine mean. But yeah, I want a way to do it, because as a romance reader, like, that's important to me. If I want to know, like, I want to know that this historical is like a 1 Chili Pepper, where like there's sex scenes, but they're using flowery language. So I'm like, okay, it's still gonna have them, but I'm gonna get like a cozy feel from it. Or am I reading like Sierra Simone's historical romance, which was like, So I just think it'd be good to add. So it's one of the things I'm planning to add next year. And then I also want to come up with a formula for my reviews, so that they're easier for me to do. And they're also like, if someone asks me to review their book, I can be like, okay, this is how I review it. You're going to get 3 paragraphs. Like, this is what you're getting from me. I don't know. That's
So
just what I want to
tell me more about your formula. What do you mean by that? Like,
well, the way I envision it is that I would say the first paragraph would be like a part of the blurb, like a little part of it of just like, because that's the thing that I do when I don't know what to write is I basically do a blurb. And I'm like, you're on fucking Goodreads. The blurb.
I know, exactly.
But when I don't know what to say, I will just do that. So I want to do like a couple sentences like these are the, you know, these are the tropes in the book. And then I want to do a what I didn't like and a what I love, you know, like, and if it's a 6-star book, then it'll be a what I liked and what I loved.
Okay.
And if it's a 1-star book, it'll be like what I didn't like and what I hated, you know, but that every review I did, I would only have it be like 3 paragraphs. And sometimes it'd be short and long. So
that's a good idea, especially if you're reviewing arcs and stuff. Like I don't really read arcs anymore because I don't like the pressure and I just want to read like, you know, there's so much backlist that I want to read. I want to support author. Like if an author like who I know I love offers to send me an arc, then I will absolutely read it for them. But otherwise I don't seek them out anymore, but that's just my thing. But I've been struggling with whether to summarize a book in a review only because I post the same reviews that I post on Goodreads on Instagram. And it's not as easy to like if someone is just reading my review, if I'm just saying, oh, I love this book, it was great. Like I feel like I need to explain what it's about, but I've been trying to like have super short reviews on there where I kind of explain what it's about. I do like my little hearts where it has like all the tropes. I list the tropes.
I love yours. They're so cool.
So, and then like, if there's more that needs to be told in it, then I'll tell a little bit in the review, but I don't know. I'm kind of waffling back and forth because honestly, if you wanted to know what it's about, then you could look it up on Goodreads. But a lot of the books I read, a lot of people have already read and you've probably already heard what it's about before. So these are just my thoughts.
I wonder if like having a second picture that's like a blurb from the book. I've seen people do that. Like, your pretty pictures first, but then it's like swipe for the synopsis. Otherwise, here's my review. Because then if people don't need it, they can just read what your thoughts are.
Right.
Anyway, that's what I envision for how I want to do reviews. And then if it ends up, you know, if it's my favorite book, like then fuck it, I'm gonna write whatever I want.
Yeah.
For ones that I don't know, right. For these ones that are like 3 or 4 stars, where like they're good, but I want a formula to be like, okay, this is what I like, what I didn't like. Here's the review, then you can decide. Because those are the kind of reviews that I like for other people is I want to know, you know, what the triggers are, what the tropes are, and then what you liked and didn't like. Because that's subjective. That's why I'm reading your review is I want to know why it didn't work for you.
Exactly.
Because sometimes the reason you didn't like it is why I'm going to like it.
Exactly.
And why you love it, I'll be like, oh, I don't like that reasoning. So
yeah, I don't tend to need triggers. Like I don't read the triggers, but the tropes and stuff, like a short like bullet point list, I love. And then just like a couple of sentences with your thoughts. If I'm reading it, like I more like to see people talk about it. Like that's why I like Booktube and everything so much. I like their
same. And like I love the ones that are someone's blog posts too. You know, there's the people that they only blog, and so their Goodreads review is their blog, and I love that because I can get all the detail. Or if they go off on a rant, I can really
and it's almost like a conversation. So I like I totally get that.
But for what I bring to it, written reviews are not my strong suit. But because I read so many arcs, I need to like if I'm going to keep doing them, I need to be able to do it. So having a formula I think could help, and then it won't feel so overwhelming when like today I need to write like 3 reviews. It'll just be like, this is what you need to do. Because at this point I have, not to brag, but I have so many authors that send me their books that I want to read them, that I don't want to stop, but I also want to make sure I'm still giving them value. Because if I'm not giving them value for me reading their arc, then I could just wait to buy their book. You know? Like I want to be giving them something for giving me their work. And I mean, that's why I'm being more careful with which ones that I get. Like I'm sorry that this is turning into a thing. If you need to go, tell me shut up. I'm trying to avoid it, but this is an interesting conversation that I've had with a lot of my followers, is that I have been really disappointed in historicals this year. The new ones coming out just haven't worked for me on the same level of like an Ian McKenzie or, you know, all these things, which I know those are their own tier, but it also is like, you know, I'm sure when those books came out, there's millions of books that came out that were mediocre that year, and that's the best, and those are the ones that hold on. But I've read maybe like 20 historical arcs this year, and I've only really loved one. All the rest were like threes or maybe 3.5 for me. And so I've stopped requesting those. Like I made a thing like unless it's a Lisa Kleypas or Lorraine Heath, which I'm not getting Avon's arcs anyway, so I don't even know why I try anymore. Don't know why Avon hates me. I read more of their books than probably anyone else. Anyway.
I know.
Like seriously. But I've just stopped asking for new historical authors because I'm like, until I see the trend starting to change into something new, like I just am gonna pause for a while. So, and indie authors are amazing, and they need my support more than Avon. Like Avon's got enough bloggers and people shouting out their books. Some of our wonderful friends who do a much better like job of it than me, and I would rather support, you know, the indie authors who reach out to me and I love their stuff. Like The Devil and I. Oh my God, have you read that one yet? Oh my gosh, I don't even have my copy of it. That is like that's a psychopath cop who rescues this woman from suicide, like she's killing herself, and he stops her, and then he's like, oh, she already wrote a suicide note, it was going to kill her, so I'm just going to take her because and he like rescues her, and then he's like, I want you to tell me who made you want to do this to yourself, and I'm going to kill them. But it was a debut book from K. Allister is the author, and you know, not many people are just like, yeah, I'll read your serial killer erotica. Like, yeah, that's me. That's a brand. Like, I'll take it, you know?
I feel like it's taking a chance, though, because that could go south very quickly. So,
exactly. And,
but if it's done well, man.
Yeah. Well, and there's so many. I mean, there's so many you say no to, or people just send you unsolicited, and I'm like, not interested. But when someone takes the time to like make a pitch to me, and I mean, also there's the little bit of flattery of like, she's one of my viewers before she.
Right. Well, I would almost trust that. I trust that more because they know your taste.
Right.
Because some people are just randomly, oh, you're on Booktube, like they're not paying attention to what you read, and I'm like, I don't read any of the type of books that you're pitching to me. Like, right. But if someone's like, I know that you love these books, and these are the tropes that you, oh heck yeah, I'll read it.
Oh yeah, and like so many, because so many you can tell it's just a copy pasted thing where they're like trying to get someone to buy it, which I understand. You got to do your marketing. If you're doing it on your own, like I totally get it. But this was a person who. They were like, I'm so scared to share my book with anyone, and you're my favorite book. And I'm like, okay, yeah. And that was a case of like the grammar and some of the stuff was not perfect, but the story that she told was so good that I was like, I'm so glad I got to read your very first book, because if you keep writing books, you're going to be, you know, because I think of like, sorry to bring her up again, but Sophie Lark wrote like 25 books in 2 years. And if you ever read one of her very first, which I haven't even read her like first books yet, like they're not great, but they were her first books that she wrote. Right. And she had to write all of those books to get to writing like this. And you can see the potential in that. So yeah. And yeah, not everyone's going to work for you, but when someone's like, yeah, I have a serial killer book, I don't know, you want to try it? And I'm like, sure. But you know, I told them too, I was like, you know, if I read it, like I'm gonna say how I feel about it, and they're like, no, I know, that's why I like you. And I was like, that's balls. Like if you know that I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say,
right?
Because I've had other followers send me books that they wrote, and one like I read the first 2 chapters and I was like, I'm not gonna be reading your book.
No, that's also a fine line too, like, ooh.
Yeah, but well, anyway, those are kind of some of the things that I'm thinking about. Is like, I want to get the spice scale going, and I want to get like a better plan for reviews so that every book is kind of getting the same thing, even if I like didn't like it or do like it, and then obviously if I have more to say about it, well, then it's usually easy. Like if it's one I really, really love, like it's easier to write a lot. But
you should totally do a video talking about all the new things that you're playing.
Oh,
Once you land on what you're going to do, that'll be fun.
Yeah. Those are kind of the big plans for, if there's big plans. I'm going to try to not make a ton of huge plans, but it'll be like stuff where like I need to make the decision. So it feels big because even my like 0 to 6 star stuff, I've like changed how I pick it. Like a 6-star book is totally a gut instinct.
Exactly.
Like I can't.
And like I don't have check boxes for it. It's just like it's a feeling. Like when I close that book and I have that feeling, then I'm like, this is my favorite. Yeah. I haven't incorporated 6 stars. I just call it a favorite. I don't know if I will do 6 stars, but I might next year.
I mean, I think calling it a favorite works too. I just wanted them to stand above other things, you know. So that's why, like, Bethany from Beautifully Bookish, Bethany is the first person I saw with 6 stars. Like, and that was before I had like, I don't even think, I was like a baby booktuber maybe, and I was like, oh, that's a cool idea, but I wasn't reading 500 books plus, so I only had like 20 or 35 stars, so it wasn't a big deal. And then in October, right when I started thinking, how am I going to pick a favorite book? I've read like 55-star books. How do I do this? So, but I'm definitely doing December's rereading month again. I think I'm going to do that from now on, because then I don't have to like really think about if I'm going to have a good time or not.
Are you going to vlog it? You rereading your favorites? Like once a week, come out with like a vlog. I know. I'm sorry, but
it's so funny. I mean, it'll still be my weekly wrap ups, but vlogging is just tough. I literally don't do anything. I vlogged for a whole year. And it was exhausting.
Yeah.
Because I read too much. Like they ended up being at the end, like they ended up being an hour and a half or longer, and it was just too much. But.
And the editing is a nightmare too, but it's like when I know like they tend to not get as much views, but when you really love a booktuber and you love them as a person, I love seeing their thoughts, because I just like hearing you talk. And
well, that's why well, thank you. I am trying to do one a month. Like I do have a vlog planned for this month. That's a secret one.
Okay.
Reading some interesting things. So but I might try to do them once a month, but that way, like in December, just like with travel and with like Christmas and all that stuff, it's like there'll only be 1 or 2 new books I have to read. It'll all just be my favorite books.
Nice.
And that's nice.
And you did that last year. Was it like question? Because I would consider doing that, but was it nice, or did you kind of get like feel like anxious about not reading new books?
No, I loved it. Honestly, it was like a warm hug every day.
Okay.
And I actually I was rereading some books like with people, because I try to do a buddy read. So what I did with my viewers is I was like, these are all the books I'm going to be reading. They're all my favorites. If you want to read any of these with me, just message me. So there was a few that I did. And I mean, that was when I read, because I read Heart of Blood and Ashes again, and I read it with Crystal. And if I hadn't have been reading it with her, she wouldn't have finished it. And it's her favorite. Because I was just like, just keep going. I was literally like, just one more chapter. Like it happens in this next chapter. Like you're really going to snap in place.
When did it finally click for? I liked it from the very beginning, and I don't normally I'm not a big fantasy person, but I liked it immediately.
I think it was the part with the horse. When he has to do the thing to the horse. Yeah. Because that's a very shocking thing. And also Crystal is the horse. Yeah. And so am I. Like we both there's some sad horse stuff that happens in Empire of the Vampire too, and I was like, just be prepared. Oh God. The horse dies.
That is a trigger that
it is. Like in Dark Notes, right? I told her the exact page when bad stuff happened in that one. Hi, cutie.
I just wanted Yep. Can you feed the marshmallows?
Yep, you can have them.
Sorry. Ice cream? Did you say ice cream?
She wants marshmallows. I have these
You made them, didn't you?
No, I do have a recipe for them, but I got them in the mail the other day. But it's like 3 ingredients. They're easy to make. but it's like coconut sugar and gelatin and water and like maple syrup or something.
What was I saying? But yeah, so it ended up being great because I didn't only reread stuff. I made a okay. So the way that I did this is that I know, I'm sorry. I just like to explain everything that I did.
No, I want to know.
Because I went through and I went through 50 5-stars and I picked which ones I felt were 6 stars based on some arbitrary stuff. I was like, how sexy was it? Did the love story, was it here? And did I like that? Like, I just picked a couple of things. And so I went through and I was like, which of these fit that? And then I was left with like 22 books that I felt were 6-star books. And then I went through and I was like, okay, well, which one of these do I feel like I have to reread? Because there were some of them that I had, I had only read them a couple months before, so I knew how I felt about them. And then there was some of them that I had read them back in, like The Takeover I'd read a while ago and the Twisted books I'd read a while ago. So those ones I was like, I should reread these to see if they, because, the newest thing you've read that you loved is your favorite, even if you loved those ones. So, but I already know, when I was writing them, when I was like adding them in here, I already know which ones I like need to reread and which ones I know probably aren't going to be at the top of it because I'm like, oh, this was 6-star, but it doesn't compare to this. So it was an arbitrary thing. And I ended up with rereading, I think like 15 of those 23. And then I still read new stuff too, but so I don't know what it'll be this year. I think too, it depends on like which ones are and which ones have audiobooks and like that stuff, because a lot of them I did the rereads via audiobook. It's easier. But yeah, it was the best. Like it was, when you have the books that are just gonna, and it's solidified, like rereading again, The Magic, I sobbed almost the whole last 100 pages. I was sobbing, and I didn't cry that much the first time. I just was like, wow, this is
you catch things that you missed before. So yeah, maybe I'll do that. I don't know.
Yeah. But anyway, so thanks for hanging out with me today. It's really great.
Anytime, let me know.
Yeah. Thanks you guys for hanging out. Sorry I was mostly yakking with Bree here. I know some of you are
that's kind of what we wanted to do anyway. It was just
I was really missing my friend. I had told her before I had kind of a sad week, so I just wanted to hang out. But you guys, it looks like Steph is awake on the other side of the world.
I know.
Into the next day. But thanks for showing up, everybody. So I'm gonna keep reading after this, but I didn't finish my laundry and everything, and but
I have to do that too.
Right. Well, thank you, everybody. I'll go ahead and end this, and I'm actually hosting the romance one on Tuesday as well, so that one will be at 6:30 p.m. So CST. So anyway, have a good afternoon, everybody.
Bye.